Today I want to speak to you about why $250,000 year income is the new six figures. I'm Patrick Bediv, your host of Valuetainment Weekly, and I want to talk to you about that magical six-figure number that was a big deal in the 80s with bank rate. I'm going to add the link on the bottom. Said in the 80s, if you made six figures, you drove a 7 Series BMW, lived in a beautiful, lavish home, and you went to nice restaurants, life was good. And today making six figures means you live in a 1,500 square foot home and you drive a 7-year Toyota Corolla is what it's saying, right? Today. Now, it's obviously an example, but you think about it, coming out of high school, coming out of college when we don't have a lot of expenses yet. We're not married. We don't have kids. We don't have a mortgage. We haven't bought diapers yet to know how much it costs. We don't know how much life costs, right? And then you graduate from college and you have payments you got to make to school, all this other stuff. Reality really sets in on how much life's going to cost. But everybody who comes out, most people want to strive to get that six-figure income. I want to give you some numbers that shows you what six figures in 1980 means today, just to share some numbers with you that I got from the U.S. Census Bureau. Here's some of the numbers. In 1980, if you bought a stamp, it cost you 15 cents. Today it's 49 cents. That's an increase of 226%. Dozen eggs, 48 cents. Today, $2. Increase of 316%. Bacon, listen to bacon, $1.20. I know a lot of people that love bacon. Today, bacon is $6.11. That's an increase of 409%. A house, to buy a house in 1980, the average house, according to U.S. Census Bureau, was $62,900. You know what the average house is today? $280,900. That's an increase of 346% is what we're talking about. To buy a house, same exact size house. Average income in 1980 was $17,710. Today, the average income is $53,891, an increase of 204%. So if we go based on these numbers that we're sharing, a $100,000 year income in 1980, today is a $400,000 a year income. $400,000 a year income. To be able to afford the luxuries of all of these numbers that have increased on a minimum of 200%. Let me give you some more numbers here. Six figures used to be a big deal because only 2 to 3% of people used to make $100,000 a year in the 80s. Today, according to the Census Bureau, 22% of Americans' households make over $100,000 a year income. Only 2% makes over $250,000. Our president wants to tax people over $250,000 year income because he considers that a rich family, somebody that's making good money. $250,000 year income, it's only 2%. See, life is getting more expensive. According to U.S. Department of Agriculture, do you know what it takes for a parent, a husband and wife, to raise a kid from the day they're born to 18 years old, not including college? You know how much it costs? $245,340 per child. Per child. If you have two, that's $500,000. If you have three, that's $750,000 is what we're talking about. And someone's listening to this and saying, how are people even making it? Well, that's the real question. How are people making it with six figures? How are people even doing it with $150,000 year income? Now you may say, well, $250,000 is not even a big deal in places like New York, LA or Chicago. I would agree with you, but I'm generally giving you a number on $250,000 flat out across the board. That's the new six figures. So if you're watching this saying, well, how am I going to be making $250,000 year income? At my job, I make 73. My spouse makes 38. We make $111,000 a year between the both of us, and we have 2 degrees. And I'm paying $73,000 on my degree, and she's paying $68,000 on her degree. We're making all these payments. We're making the Sally Mays. This, by the way, this is real life. We're concerned about having kids. Maybe we don't want to have more than one kid, because if we have one kid only, so we can at least take care, because what's a nanny going to cost? What's this going to cost? What's that going to cost? Cost of living is going up. So you're asking a question. Great, all of this sounds good. How do I make a $250,000 year income household? Well, if you generally look at what industries pay $250,000, if you Google it, you can look at it for yourself. I have a couple links on the bottom for you to look at. It's typically medicine, money industry, and computers. Medicine, money industry, and computers, software, things like that. Medicine, you got to go for 12 years to be around the $250,000 your income, which means another $300,000-$400,000 of debt. Money, you just need some licenses to get into it, whether it's real estate, financial, insurance. It doesn't matter, money industry. Then you have the computer programmer, which you may need to have a software and engineer, 8 years, go to certain schools to do that. These are things that you ought to ask yourself, because the true alternative on why immigrants like myself, why America still leads all countries in the world for having 40 plus million immigrants that come to America is because of the free enterprise system. Because you and I, with or without a degree, we can go out there and start a business, be an entrepreneur, based on our pure efforts, make the kind of an income we want to make. If you need to make a $250,000 your income, you can make a $250,000 your income. It doesn't matter. As an entrepreneur, you control your income. But my challenge to you would be, if you're watching this video, maybe you're watching with your spouse, maybe you're going to replay this for your spouse to watch it. Maybe you're going to have your kids watch it, your mom and dad watch it, your friends watch it. You're going to share it with somebody. But I would tell you this, my challenge to you would be, have an action plan to go over a $250,000 your income. I would have that in place. And for some of you that are watching saying life is not all about money, I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if you raise kids. I don't know if you know how much diapers cost. I don't know if you know how much food costs for kids and how much private schoolers are, sending them to get a nanny or having somebody take care of them, babysitting or clothes and them getting sick and going to the doctor and healthcare and car payment, car insurance, debt and, parties and birthday events and all these birthdays you're invited to, all these weddings you're invited to, all these gas, miles, driving, food, utilities, phones, internet, cable, electricity. You're starting to get a trend of it. That's real life. And I think if we really want to make America pay off our $80 trillion of unpaid debt, which is our $18 trillion of national debt that we have, then our commitments that we have for Medicare, Social Security, Obamacare, all this other stuff, there's only one place government gets money from. Government doesn't make any money outside of from private sector who creates money for them to do programs such as build roads, public schools, et cetera, et cetera. If we really want to help pay off the debt for our country, which is a country we represent, we all need to pay a portion of that to cut it down for all of us. We'd love to have our national debt be zero because that's our credit as a country. I believe we all need to make an effort to make more income. And if we want to have a better income for our life, $250,000 is the new 6-figure a year income. So my message of the week to you, I would love to hear from you, and please be sure to share this video with other people who may need to watch it, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.
Action.
Really?
Let's have you
Smile.
Yeah.
I'm Patrick Bedell, your host of Valuetainment Weekly, and today is one of my average house, medium house to buy an average